How many of your parents know that the feet of my children and my feet will not move Yawm al-Qiyamah up until we are asked about 5 things? How many degrees do you have? How many A-levels do you have? How many GCSEs do you have? How many cars do you have? How many houses do you have? How many certifications do you have? Is that what the hadith says? It's not to say that these things, well, some of them are completely unimportant. But some of them do have some importance. But not knowing which one to prioritize is a musibah in parents. And those parents who know and they ignore, then they are not preparing their children. They are not preparing their children to stand on the Day of Judgment. Because you'll be asked about your prayer. You'll be asked about the sunnah. You'll be asked about what was halal and what was haram, what was commanded and what was prohibited. You'll be asked. You'll be asked, my sister, about your hijab. Why weren't you wearing the hijab? You'll be asked. You'll be asked about that which Allah commanded and that which Allah prohibited. What prevented you from the hijab, from the khimar and from the jilbab? Why did you leave your house perfumed when Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam prohibited the woman from leaving the house beautified and perfumed? You'll be asked, my brother, my son, you'll be asked about the trousers that you're allowed to drag on the floor below your ankles. Because whatever is below the ankles from your lower garment is in the hellfire. You'll be asked. You'll be asked about that beard that you shave. You'll be asked about those music tunes that you listen to, or those movies that you watched. You'll be asked Yawm al-Qiyamah. But one thing I will tell you is, you will not be asked about how many GCSEs and A-levels you have and how many degrees you got. Because that is not from the questions in the grave. And that is not from the questions on Yawm al-Qiyamah that will decide whether you're in Nar or Jannah. The questions of Nar and Jannah rotate around ibadah and obedience to Allah and keeping away from the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The questions of Yawm al-Qiyamah are questions of taqwa and piety and nearness to Allah and dhikr of Allah and dua to Allah and the good treatment of others and the giving of sadaqah and the performance of hajj and the giving of zakah and fasting in Ramadan. Those are the questions of Yawm al-Qiyamah.